Mobile, Alabama. Here at Hancock Whitney Stadium, home of the University of South Alabama Jaguars, and some of the best players in college football are here as part of the Senior Bowl. That includes Florida wide receiver Kadarius Toney, by some people's estimation, the highest-ranked prospect who's actually playing in the game this week that is here in attendance. Aaron Robinson, a guy from UCF who could hear his name called early in the draft process. He actually checked in late in the first round in Mel Kiper's initial mock draft recently released on ESPN. And of course, the name that everybody has been focusing on this week is Mac Jones, the Heisman finalist from Alabama, national champion, just an incredible season this past year, looking to cement his spot as the top quarterback at the Senior Bowl and potentially one of the top 5 in this class. Field Yates alongside Todd McShay, veteran of the Senior Bowl, Mike Tannenbaum, Louis Riddick as well. And guys, it has been a week of players emerging, but we've also been able to see coaches emerge a little bit more as we get an up close and personal look at somebody like Matt Rhule, the Carolina Panthers now second-year head coach. And you know, Todd, sometimes you latch on to small things and they don't amount to much. Sometimes you latch on to small things and they turn to be something special. And it feels like Matt Rhule's energy, which is infectious and contagious, is something special here this week.
Yeah, I loved watching him yesterday because you know that 95% of the roster that he has here is they're not going to be Carolina Panthers. But he wanted to coach them, and he wanted them to get better in every drill. He was going from wide receiver drills to defensive line drills and working on little things. And then he brought the whole group up and said, listen, I don't want yes men. Yes, sir is nice, it's cute, but I don't want yes, sir. I want guys looking me in the eyes and let's talk football and let's find a way to get better. And that's, to me, that's what this is all about.
You know, what really stood out to me was his unbelievable attention to detail. I was standing at the goal line, and the running back broke through the line of scrimmage, was going in the end zone. He literally stopped the drill and said, no, the ball was in the wrong hand. You have to be able to stiff on with your offhand. It should have been on the outside, not the inside. And as you mentioned, here's a head coach who's going to the smallest detail, and everyone noticed it. And candidly, it was inspiring. It was inspiring for the players and the other coaches. This is just not a week in Mobile to go through the motions. He's elevated the practice, and he deserves a ton of credit for it.
Yeah, the best coaches are credible, they're competent, and they positively impact other people. You know, Matt Rhule's somebody who's credible. He's someone who people trust. He's competent. He's shown that, look, I can not only coach defensive line, I can coach running backs, I can coach DBs, I can tutor the quarterbacks, whoever it is, whatever you need me to do, I can do. And then, you know, he positively impacts others. You know, he's put players in the NFL. He's impacted players and coaches. And so when you have all three of those things, like instantly people are, you know, you gravitate towards him. You want to hear what he has to say. And you can just tell by the tone and tenor of their practices for the American team that the players are buying in. And that's what you want, especially on a Thursday practice now where they're like, hey, can we just get to the game already now? But he keeps his guys engaged, and that's why we're excited to see this team, because they practice at the kind of tempo you want to see.
And, of course, the primary focus this week is the 136 players that were invited to the Senior Bowl. So let's go to some of the players that we've got our eyes on today. Specifically, Todd, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Matt Jones he really has stood out. The 6 quarterbacks here are going to be drafted. Mac Jones is going to be the first drafted of this group. He's going to be in the first round. And the reason is he processes so quickly. He's so good inside the pocket, and he gets the ball out, and he knows how to really distribute the ball. Listen, we've got number 1, Trevor Lawrence, no question about it. The Jets in Miami, maybe quarterbacks. Atlanta sitting at number 4, maybe a quarterback. You got Carolina at 8. You got Detroit at 7. So there are a lot of teams looking for quarterbacks. Mac Jones wouldn't shock me if he winds up being top.
Hey, you know, I mean, as my guy just keeps going across the screen here, you're talking about Mac Jones, but it's okay. Amari Rodgers is a pretty good wide receiver. Look, there's a lot of good wideouts down here. A lot of them are getting a lot of love. Kadarius Toney's getting a lot of love. So is Dwayne Eskridge. But look, Amari Rodgers. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about you enough there, Amari. You're a good player.
And here's Trey McKinney.
Yeah, he's good too.
He measured at 6'04", 247. Guys, he only had 6 catches all year, but look, going across the middle here, he caught the ball naturally. Big catching radius. It's been a little stiff, but he's a guy to me that has really elevated his stock. Not sure if he's going to practice today, but to be a 3-down tight end in the NFL, it's rare nowadays. Trey McKinney has the build to do that.
Take a look at some of the noticeable players. And by the way, as Todd was talking about Mac Jones, Mac came within about 18 inches away from Todd, socially distanced. But Todd, maybe perhaps Mac was listening into the conversation. Here are some of the players that are here this week amongst the most notables on the American team, which is now taking place with their practice with the Carolina Panthers staff. You got Kadarius Toney, we mentioned him, Alex Leatherwood, the potential guard, but a college tackle at Alabama, top 55 prospect on Todd's board. You see Kellen Mond, the four-year player at Texas A&M, won a lot of games there at College Station, along with Chris Evans, the running back from Michigan, Chai Smith from South Carolina.
Chai Smith is moving up.
Yes, he sure is. Some of the players on defense that you see, we talked about Aaron Robinson just a minute ago. How about Boogie Basham? Carlos Basham, his first name, had a great first day of practice on the field on Wednesday. Peyton Turner, an underrated defensive lineman, a guy continues to find a way to move up these draft board. So lots of players that are well known already in the college football landscape that are looking to become NFL household names in the near future. Our coverage of the Carolina Panthers and the American team practice rolls along. Up next here on ESPNU. One Reese Senior Bowl. And time now to head to the final member of our broadcast team, Quinn Kesnick, who's joined by Carolina Panthers head coach Matt Rule.
Hi, Coach. Welcome to Thursday. What do you have on tap for us this afternoon?
You know, we're going to get some more situational stuff today. We'll get some 2-minute right to start the practice, get some red zone, some third down. So I expect this to be the best day for the guys. I know a lot of them have been thinking the last couple of days. Hopefully they just cut it loose today a little more.
Yeah, the red zone can be like truth serum, it seems, to the quarterbacks and the wide receivers and the corners. What do you learn in the red zone?
Well, I think all the angles, the field shrinks. You know, the windows are a lot tighter. You have to be a really talented quarterback to get drive the ball into the end zone. You have to have big receivers, guys with great hands. And on defense, you have to make plays. You have to break on the ball. So everything happens faster, and you find out a lot about guys.
We loved your holistic approach yesterday, watching you coach. You were everywhere, whether it's quarterbacks, running backs, D-line. And the emphasis, I thought it was really interesting in terms of what you're asking for these young prospects. What'd you emphasize today in terms of the non-negotiables, in terms of their attitude and their effort?
Just the same thing. And, you know, I think we have a great team. We have a great group of young men, and we have a great coaching staff. I just want to make sure as you start to get tired, you stop taking advantage of these opportunities. You have a great opportunity to get coached, to get better. Just go the whole way through the practice. And so we want to finish. You know, we want these guys to have today be their best day. If we get 1% better every day, then the week becomes a really special week.
I want to ask you about a couple of players, and just in terms of general, how you characterize their play so far. Amari Rodgers, receiver out of Clemson.
I mean, you can tell he's football's in his DNA. He has a great feel for everything. Coachable, tough, fast, has a great feel for running routes, great ball skills. And when you see him return punts, you also know that he's going to bring a lot of versatility to you as well.
Mac Jones yesterday, our analyst spoke glowingly of his play.
Well, you know, I love the feeling that he has. You know, he was down there in one-on-ones throwing, slants, and I kind of said to him, are you going to throw another slant or are you going to throw the ball down the field? And he looked at me the whole snap, took the snap looking at me and snapped his head back and threw a fade for a touchdown. So he's got a little bit of moxie to him to go along with his talent, and that goes a long way at that position.
Trey Smith's a guard out of Tennessee. I had the opportunity to spend some time with him this year in Knoxville. I was blown away by him as a young man, his intellect, his maturity. How would you describe what you've seen from him this week?
Well, he's overcome a lot. He's been really good this week, and you see a lot of power. You see a guy that can set the line of scrimmage, that can win in the pass game and also win up front in the run game. So I've been really impressed with him.
Thank you, Coach.
I thank you guys.
Look forward to this practice.
Yes, sir.
Great stuff, as always, from Matt Rule. It's just been a joy to watch these past couple of days. And we've loved the all-access pass we've had here. Take a listen to some of the best of Wired sound so far from the Senior Bowl.
Come here, guys. Watch this now. Ham is going to get a cross. Okay, he doesn't have him. He has the next threat. Cross. Who's the next threat? That tight end right there. Let's go. Come on, run, race. Come on, too slow.
What are you working on today?
Oh, I got to run the ball better.
Good.
Yeah.
Now the coach is gone, are you going to be okay?
That's what vertical off the reroute means. When I run away from you, I don't have to worry about the corner, do I?
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Stop here. Hey, more violent. Why weren't you more violent through his hands? You with me? Fortune cookie. You see that on a fortune cookie, Rice? You've seen that, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See it thrown, you see it caught. Okay, here's what I say in man-to-man. If you see the ball thrown in man, guess what you're going to see?
Can't catch it.
Yeah.
So we want to try to release right through the B gap. Inside zone footwork, and then try to release through the B gap, get to the flat.
Hey guys, if any of you guys can get 4 yards deep in the A gap around freaking Drew Brees, then it's good, okay? Rip. Here, rip. And go. And did you see how once he started, he stunted you, how you finally freaking started driving him again? That was the pad level we went from the very beginning.
Yes, sir.
But do you want us to coach you or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get in there again, go. I'm really uncomfortable you following me around all day. I keep seeing you like, oh my God. Don't say something stupid. Don't say something stupid.
All right, so these players from the American team continue to warm it up and stretch things out. Our coverage here on ESPN was just getting started. Coming up next, we're going to the 2-minute drill. Stay tuned.
The Reese's Senior Bowl practice is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Back in the 2021 Reese's Senior Bowl, and just a moment ago, Matt Rule, Carolina Panthers head coach, brought his team together with a message for today's practice.
All right, get in here, guys. Get in here, get in here, get in here. All right, listen up, please. Listen up, please. Listen up, please. All right, there's two parts to this evaluation, trying to figure out who you guys are as football players. The first part is like seeing your skill set, seeing you in one-on-ones and all that. You guys have been doing a great job. And we'll continue that today. The other part, which doesn't happen in recruiting all the time, is finding out who can win in winning situations. Like who can get in the team situations and make, lots of guys can make plays in one-on-ones, and they get to the team situation, they disappear. Not you guys. So we're gonna go through those situations today, 2-minute and the red zone. If you wanna be great, you gotta win in 2 minutes. Great players close games out. Quarterbacks close games out, left tackles close games out, pass rushers close game out, DBs close games out. Close the game out. So we'll start with 2 minutes, and then we'll do a lot of stuff in the red zone. Shrink the field, save your legs, see who can make plays when it's tight. Show what you can do now in a team setting. Don't just think about the one-on-ones. Bring it all together. This should be your best day. Now, you know what to expect. Put it all together today. Have fun, fly around. Break it down. We're going right to 2 minutes.
Hey, family on three. Family on three. 1, 2, 3.
Mike Tannenbaum, Matt Rule certainly has a way with words.
He certainly does. He has me excited for this practice. And he's right, though. 2 minutes, very competitive. And this is a great way to continue the evaluation, put these guys in a pressured situation, and someone's going to make a play to either score or get the defense off the field. So his words were right on. And coming out, we're immediately seeing Mac Jones. Great throw here to Kadarius Toney. And again, I think what's been impressive about Mac Jones is he's twitchier than I thought, and he's a really quick decision maker. Got rid of the ball fast there. Accurate throw to his left. He continues to impress.
I talked to Mac Jones when he was stretching out before practice, and I said, how's it going? He's like, it's been awesome, man. Everything's good. I was like, what's the hardest part? He's like, the verbiage. There's so many words. So many words in the play call, but we're getting there. So you can tell that that's the one part that he's been struggling with, but he was a 4.0 student at Alabama. He's so smart. He's picking up things so much quicker than basically all the other quarterbacks here. But that's part of the process.
Well, Todd, as we discussed yesterday, if you're counting on a guy to learn another language, in this case it's football, Mac Jones is the right person to count on. He speaks Mandarin fluently, so when he's not being awesome on the football field, he's a very well-read man off the football field as well. And as you and I were talking about this, Todd, he's just dialed in right now.
Dude, he's been practicing for 3 days in this offense. 3. And he's already, you see how comfortable he is. Learning is going to be the least of his worries in the NFL. And you see right there, like that athleticism right there, and that athleticism running back to the football.
I was going to say, the awareness, right?
You know what? The guy just has, there's an attraction that you have towards him. He kind of captures your attention because he's someone who's just very much so in charge, in command, and has a skill set that is just so translatable. You can just see him playing at the next level. You can just see it. You can forecast it.
The
look
attention
at the
to detail
and just know he's going to be all right.
Puddle up. You know what else is great, guys? If you're sitting here and you're Matt Rule or their new general manager, Scott Fitterer, and you're sitting there with a top 10 pick, a lot of uncertainty about Teddy Bridgewater. Here is Mac Jones running your offense. You're coaching for a week. Boy, does that take the guesswork out of making a decision. I'm not saying that they're going to draft him, but boy, there's always
I'm not saying that they're not, though.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. There's always a little bit of a question mark, a little bit of a hope, a little bit of a projection. Like, this takes so much of the guesswork out. And if I'm them, it's seeing him run their offense. Boy, it makes the alignment between the Panthers and Mac Jones so much more realistic come the draft.
We're going to flip things over here as Mac is sort of skipping to the side. I don't know if he's doing so gingerly.
I think somebody may have stepped on his foot or something.
Yep.
But even that throw right there where him and Amari Rodgers run on the same page, you see the ball hit Amari square in the back. It was right on target.
And it was on time.
It was. I mean, he knew where he wanted to go with it. Just an impressive young man. Had an impressive week. There's just no way around it.
And the beauty for Mac is, we all know Trevor's going to go number 1. Trevor Lawrence is going to be the number 1 overall pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. After that, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Kyle Trask, who's injured, Trey Lance from North Dakota State. All these quarterbacks were not able, because of being juniors, to come and play in the Senior Bowl. They hadn't graduated. So this is his opportunity to show, hey, I'm better than these other guys. And if he skips one of these guys through this process, that's $7-10 million over his rookie contract.
By the way, just a quick update here. Mac Jones just sort of did a little bit of a jog up the sideline. He's got his helmet back on. Appears to be all good. As Lewis said, looked like maybe he got stepped on by one of the defensive players at the end of the drill. Let's head now on the field to Phil Snow, Panthers defensive coordinator, here on the field.
Go get him! Go get him! Here we go! Same thing. Loose 2. Hey, go. Hey, huddle! They huddle, we huddle! They huddle, we huddle! Get in the huddle!
Coach Snow should be ready for a shot play right here. There's going to be 4 verticals for Kellen Mond.
Good opportunity to grip and rip for the former Texas A&M quarterback here.
Get out of there! Good. Hey, loose play.
You see Trey McKinney right there, Mike Tannenbaum, a player that you said to keep an eye on after a solid Wednesday practice. Man, does he look the part.
Yeah, he sure does. Has a huge catching radius, guy, 6'4", long arms, big hands. Only had 6 catches last year. George obviously doesn't use the tight end a lot. This is a great week for him to showcase what he could do in the passing game, and that was a good rep for Kellen Mond. Initially dropped the ball, but made a quick, accurate throw to McKinney. And McKinney, again, if you're looking for a 3-down tight end, given his size, he has all the attributes you're looking for a 3-down tight end.
Mike, he's 6'5", 245. He'll be 255 by the time he's in the NFL. He can separate. He can run after the catch. He's shown this week that he can catch in traffic. He transferred from FSU, went to Georgia, was underused. This guy is a special player. It's been fun to watch him.
That's it. Here we go. Huddle.
Phil Snow on the field. Our set of Carolina Panthers coaches that are mic'd up for today's practice. They've been great, as the Dolphins were, in terms of giving us some access on the field and some color and sound to hear what these players are hearing themselves right now.
Yeah, you are.
Just going back to tight end, you get Kyle Pitts is a different level. He's the number 1 tight end, not even close.
Sure.
Pat Freiermuth from Penn State is a really good player. Hunter Long is here from BC. I would put McKinney in that top 5 range, and it would not shock me at all if he's a day 2 pick.
And Todd, from a value standpoint, getting somebody like him in the 3rd round,
right,
fill a couple other needs earlier in the draft could make a lot of sense. Again, that's one of the great things about being in the Senior Bowl is it's not just the first 50 picks. It's trying to get that value in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round. And a guy like McKinney, I agree, he's not Kyle Pitts or anywhere close to that. But for a guy his size, doing what he's doing down here this week, he's really helped himself in the process.
I'll tell you another young man that's helping himself right now. Keep an eye on number 55 from the University of Miami, Quincy Roche. He's winning every time. And if this was a live drill right now, Kellen Mond would be on the ground on that pass, on that last rep, because he just took the offensive tackle 72 Newman and put him right back into Kellen Mond's lap. 55 is coming off the ball. We noticed it yesterday. He was making play after play in team periods. He's starting off fast again today.
Let's take a listen to Matt Rule here.
All right, one last one, kid. Let's go. Last one, guys. Someone go make a play.
Safety, line on the goal line. Hold safety.
Oh, somebody got to make a play. Gun double right. Guys, gun double right.
Hey, look right, look right, look right.
Let's go, Kay. Let's go, Kay.
5 seconds.
What's the situation? What's the situation? What's the damn situation? How many are you down? Yeah, get him in the huddle. Come on, you run it. Good job. Congratulations. Get in the huddle. We got to win for 2. Well, they got to pick.
I love Matt Rule.
Yeah, remember to start this, it was we're down 8. We're down 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Job ain't done yet. He's telling those wide receivers.
Congratulations. Let's go.
Do whatever the hell you want. Got me? Throw your helmets. I can give a shit. Let's go. Come on, defense. Win it. Woo! Hey, Coach, let's run.
Coach Parcells has a great 10 commandments of evaluating a quarterback, and for anybody listening out there that's interested in learning how to evaluate a quarterback, I would suggest Googling it. One of the 10 commandments that was about being a battleship commander. I think what Coach Rule just had when he was coaching Kellen Mond there, that's a great example about being a battleship commander. You scored, that's great, but let's go for 2. And as the quarterback, you got to lead the charges and have a presence of where we are in terms of you're down 2. There's a time and place to celebrate, but we got a play clock to worry about.
Ange, rotate as needed, Ange. If you need an administrative timeout, let me know.
We're back at it again with another 2-minute situation here. 55 seconds on the clock. 1st and 10. Jamie Newman now under center for the American team. He, of course, started his college career at Wake Forest.
Oh, yeah, Wyatt. Yeah, Wyatt. Yeah, Wyatt.
Sack! Go.
Come on, Wyatt.
Timeout. Put it back. 49 seconds, Donnie. Timeout. Huddle. You got no timeouts now. We got to roll. Hey, hold on. Hey, I got it. What do you call? Frizz. That's what you call.
Hey, gun double left, 63. All go. Second sound. Ready?
All go.
Sean,
All go.
Sean. Yeah, all go versus cover 2. Cover 2 right here. All go.
And this defensive front is just getting after him during these team drills right now. Been really impressive.
They jumped it a little bit there.
Look at a false start on the right tackle too, Todd. Yep.
Come on, Jamie, run the show. You got it. You'll be fine. Let's go. Let's go, Indy! Hey, Wyatt.
Pick six right there. You saw from the defense. Not a great decision there from Jamie Newman trying to throw a football, force a football into space. That wraps up the 2-minute drill. But our coverage here for the 2021 Reese Senior Bowl is just getting started. So much more to come from the American squad, coached by the Carolina Panthers. Continues right here on ESPNU. Carolina in Starkville to take on the number 21 Mississippi State Bulldogs. And on the men's side, Saturday night we'll showcase the Big 12 SEC Challenge with number 15 Kansas and number 18 Tennessee at 6 Eastern, followed by number 5 Texas at Kentucky. That game starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Catch it all on ESPN as well as on the app. We're back into individual period. Let's listen in with some of the small groups that have been broken up by position. Let's start by taking a look at the American team tight ends.
Get them out in front. Come on out in front and get them. Stand where I am, okay? Here we go. Yeah, you'll get them both coming at you, okay? Thank you. All right, here we go, guys. Omaha. Ready, blue. 2 revolutions. Try to get 2. You guys will stay right there. Try to get 2 revolutions on that line, right? 2 revolutions. Omaha. Ready, blue. That's a good job. Now, what do we got to do, man? Let's be ready to chop. Let's be ready to chop, right? Now we're going to have our right foot up, okay? Right foot up, right on the top of that tick. Move it up, Trey. See that tick? Top of the numbers, right there. Perfect. Q, get even with him. Right foot up, you should be a yard off. There's your yard marker, Trey. Be a yard off. Move a little wider, Trey, see? There's 1 yard. There you go. All right, here we go. Omaha. Ready, blue. Okay, now. All right, let's see this again. Trey, remember, I want to take 2 revolutions, right? And then what's critical when I get to the top, man? I want to launch, right? That's when the acceleration starts in the chop. So I'm saying we're not decelerating, right? We're running. Follow me? This is full speed, right? All right, here we go. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's watch Granny here. Omaha. Ready, blue. Watch 2 revolutions. Perfect. That's a rep right there. Now, when you straighten up, stay right on that line. You with me? Now, we're going out. We're going right foot up now. Right foot up. We're outside
releasing.
releasing.
Good move over from the tight end to the offensive line group.
Trey, 2 with that left.
Take a look and see some of the footwork drills they're working on down there into the end zone.
Here we go. Right tackles up. Here we go. Right in the ball. Hit. Left. Left. That's a good job. Good. Good finish. Here we go. Here we go. Ready in the ball. Hit. Left. Left and drive. Good. Lift them off his base. Lift them off his base with your upper body. Here we go. Ready in the ball. Hit. Throw the head across. Faster hands though, D. Right? D. Faster with that left hand, that non-snap hand. Okay, get it in there. All right, here we go. Here we go. Backside drive cut off. Ready in the ball. Hit. Drive, drive, wide base. Good. That's better, D. That's better. There we go. Let me see the power with the backside knee and hand. Ready in the ball. Hit. Drive, 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 drive. Good, 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 good. And defensively, work with them a little bit more. You know, I got you. I got you. All right, we good? Let's go 5-hole now. 5-hole. Spread out. Spread out. Normally we'd have boxes painted on the field and all that. Spread out so we get about 4 yards in between. Okay, we're going to go tight zone, inside zone, tight zone to the left. So like 35 weak here. Okay? There we go. There we go. So you're already past the landmark. So again, does a nickel defensive end, is he that tight normally? There you go. So give him a look. Give him a look. Here we go. Step at him. Step at him. All right, Alex, here we go. Right in the ball. Hit. Step at him. Good. Turn him out. Turn him out. Go again.
Right, from the offensive line, we head over to watch some of the defensive side of the ball, specifically Al Holcomb, the defensive run game coordinator.
Go. Read him. Read him. Read him. Bang. Here we go. Hey, you guys are on the 20. You guys are on the 20. Hey, Danny, you guys are over here. Both of you guys are going to throw. Okay, so you be the inside guy, Danny. Trip, you're the outside guy. We're going to do a W drill, okay? Right foot plant. So you're going to back pedal, break it a 40, break on me, the quarterback, break it a 45. Danny's going to throw you the ball. When you catch the ball, toss it back to Danny, back pedal on that line. You're still reading me. I'm the quarterback. Boom. My shoulders turn, you break. Trip's going to throw you the ball. You good? On what we doing? You want to walk through it? Okay, move up. Get out of my office now.
Mike Tatum, we got a first
here we go.
Front row seat to the linebackers here. What do you see them working on?
Right.
Yeah, Coach Holgren's had a number of good drills here.
Right.
This is, you see this W drill with DBs, change the direction. You want to see if they can plant and drive, how stiff they are. This is Jabril Cox, the transfer to LSU, very athletic, can really move in space. We just saw that. This is a drill that, in terms of, you want to see pass coverage ability, driving on the ball, and then ball skills. Really interesting guy here, Patty Fisher, number 30, had a ton of production at Northwestern. People comparing to his head coach, Pat Fitzgerald. And big question about Patty Fisher is, can he play in space? As the field expands, does that show his athletic limitations? So big week for him here, big opportunity. I thought he's moved well in the drills, very little tightness, pretty fluid athlete for someone of his size.
You see Grant Stewart right there from Houston, a guy who's been flying around all week. Let's head down to the defensive line. Lewis is camped out by the D lineman.
I'll tell you, this group down here, in that first part of practice, in that 2-minute situation, these guys were wrecking shop, especially that second group. You got to keep an eye on some of these guys, especially the edge players. Look, Quincy Roche he showed up all practice long yesterday. He showed up early today. Basham, shows up every practice. He's just one of the best players in the country, regardless of position. And I'll tell you what, there's a couple of... There's a lot of good-looking body types down here that play with the kind of ferocity and intensity that you're looking for. And one of the things that they have been telling these guys is you can't get tired. Don't get tired in this practice. Finish this practice. This is a group that's going to be interesting to watch, especially when they go in the third down period, situational period, to see how they rush the passer. Hard-working group, an under-talked about group so far as our practice coverage is concerned, but a group that we need to pay attention to today because I think you got some players here, some real good players.
Yeah, it certainly feels like some of these defensive players can really make their mark on Saturday, too. When the game begins, they can actually tackle, these defensive linemen that are getting good pass rushes on opposing quarterbacks. Can't even complete the play with quarterbacks staying up on their feet, obviously.
When you stand down here again, I mean, how valuable it is to be field level with these guys, to see their body type, see how they're put together, their attention to detail, how they take in coaching. But Quincy Roche, I mean, I've brought his name up probably 4 or 5 times over the past 2 days. He's the prototypical body type when you're talking about a guy who is a combination 4-3 defensive end or 3-4 outside linebacker. And when you think about Carolina, and look, they have Brian Burns, who's from Florida State, who's one of those tweener types, the kind of guy who could be a 3-4 outside backer, could be a 4-3 defensive end. Roche just reminds me of that, and he's just been terrorizing every offensive tackle here in practice with his get-off and his tenacity. And then you look at Basham, who's a totally different body type, much thicker in his lower body, thicker up top, can play defensive tackle, can play defensive end. You saw on his film at Wake, he can play 3-4 outside backer from a 2-point stance. There's just so many different types, so many different players here that can do different things. It's exciting to watch these young men get to work.
Running the hoop was when I first realized I was a terrible athlete. It is so hard to get around that hoop quickly with the body control, and it shows you the guys who actually can get to the passer, because they've got to be able to get beyond the offensive tackle and then just change that body direction, and it's so hard to do.
Roche, originally at Temple before his transfer to Miami, recruited to Temple by Matt Rule. I just asked Matt, I said, did you recruit Roche? He goes, oh yeah, I remember he showed up at a camp. We timed him and we signed him right immediately. He's from Owings Mills, Maryland, my area. So there's a connection between Matt Rule and Quincy Roche.
Yeah, it might be such a connection that they pair him with Brian Burns down there in Carolina. I mean, he just, this kid can just flat out rush the passer, man. He's going to show up in this practice.
Let's head on over from the defensive line to the defensive backfield, where Phil Snow, the Panthers defensive coordinator, is looking on.
We're in plug, and we have the tight end, and it's a bunch. Okay, so there's a tight end here, a wide out close, and a backs offset. We call that a clump. It's bunch, but bunch is a tight end, 2 wide outs, or 3 guys out. If the bunch is with a back in the backfield, we call it clump. Okay, if there's a clump in the red zone, in red plug or red green, then don't play off anymore. You have the tight end, right? You got to come up and you got to get on him right here. so we can play what? Levels of defense. Did they talk to you about that in the meeting? So you're at this level, the corner's at 3, and the backer's at 5, so we can get through. We just got picked over here because we didn't do it. We'll work on that tomorrow.
We got one-on-ones coming up here, which is always one of the most enjoyable parts of the practices. And that's where we're going to be when we come right back. More from the 2021 Reese's Senior Bowl from Hancock Whitney Stadium, Mobile, Alabama. Coverage continues on ESPNU next. The pair of Big 12 SEC Challenge contests on ESPN, as well as on the app. First is number 15 Kansas and number 18 Tennessee in Knoxville at 6 Eastern, 5 Central, followed by a trip to Rupp Arena for number 5 Texas traveling to play Kentucky at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're back for a bunch of one-on-ones. You've got the wide receivers and the cornerbacks matching up. And let's start right there and take a look at one of our favorite periods during practice.
Flag. 2 flags. Well, Powell was he was held. Daniel from Georgia just held him. So he had no shot there. But Mac Jones has shown in the red zone the ability to put the ball in the perfect spot. Here's Shy right now. Shy Smith from South Carolina. Watch how quick he is.
Here we go, man. Here we go. Here we go. Get set. Get your line, man. Here we go. Right in the ball. Hey, throw your head out there. Throw your head out there.
Couldn't bring it in.
Good. Nice job on the double. Nice job on the triple. Nice job on the triple. Royce is going to go to guard now. Get running. What do you think, Dave?
Nice snag right there in traffic.
There's Trevon Grimes.
Yeah, one of 2 Florida wide receivers here, of course, this week. That's
yep.
right. But not to be forgotten, a good prospect in his own right.
See that timing? How quick Mac Jones got the ball out? I mean, that's the difference. In the red zone, you've got to get the ball out.
Right where it's supposed to be, right? Let's take a listen in to Phil Snow, Panthers defensive coordinator, coaching up on the sideline.
You're a little bit ahead of him. Well, down here, yeah, you want to be here because of the room. You'll catch it up with your long limbs. You'll catch up with everything in the back.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Here we go. Guys, this split right here is tough, baby. Underneath, go! Okay, guys, he looked too soon. Guys, see that? Guys, if you look, most people run 8 to 10 yards out of the break. Good, stay in there. Ball! Now get back. That, baby. That's it. Hey, Richie, you worked your eyes good, too. Back and forth, huh?
It's all right.
You guys see him work his eyes back and forth? He just didn't keep his eyes on the quarterback?
That's right.
Work him back and forth. He's going to adjust on you.
I have no idea how you did it all your life, man. Going one-on-one against these guys.
Stay in there.
It is a brutal job covering.
Oh, that's pretty right there. That's pretty right there.
You do all the right things. You're in the right position, and you still can't make a play in the ball. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I tried not to get myself in too many one-on-one situations.
Zone coverage is a beautiful thing.
I was like, where's my help? First thing I was asking, where's my help?
Go.
Pass rush, let's go.
Whoa.
Almost a great catch right there by
Mills,
Shy Smith.
That look that you made is going to cost you because if the throw's not perfect, as long as you are, you'll get your hand and get the ball out. Don't look.
Yes, sir.
You're not in phase, were you?
No.
Do not look. Good. That a baby. Okay. Did you see how he was under that route?
Right.
It's hard to throw.
The receiver right here.
Yeah, it's hard to throw
That's
that
the
route.
whole thing now with DB technique. If you're in phase, meaning if you're in good position, then
Okay, now,
turn your
guys,
head
when we
around
call
and try to
red,
make a play on the
you're
ball.
gonna have
If
help
you're
in
out
there.
of phase, you work
call
from
red,
the
you're gonna have
from the
help in there.
belt buckle up through the helmet. Just knowing that you're not in position, but you still got a chance to knock the ball out if you just work it up and don't
Trust
interfere.
yourself, Bledsoe.
And it's a tough technique to teach, but colleges are like every single college I go to, they're working on that same thing: in phase, out of phase.
It's Josh Palmer there, Tennessee wide receiver. Had a good start to the week. Another one of the SEC wide receivers here. Well represented, obviously.
Perfect ball by Mac Jones. Just the touch and understanding where he's going to be.
You know, the goal line fade is one of those plays that just really triggers some people. And I understand why. It can certainly be a low percentage play, but part of the offensive mindset is that if we have the ball where it's supposed to be, there's only two outcomes. One, touchdown. Two, incomplete pass, which is okay, better than interception. And Mac Jones right there with the perfect throw that leads you to the desired outcome of that touchdown.
Get off on that snap now. Get off on that snap. Get running. Here we go. Right in the ball. Hey, get going, get going, get going, get going, get going. Hey, if it's 30 seconds.
So what I'm trying to teach you guys, listen to me, Davis.
So we got some good action on the other side of the field here,
Nice
guys,
job
too.
by
Some
DJ
offensive line,
Daniel.
defensive linemen getting after it here.
Yeah, there's been a good period here, field. It's not been pass rushes. This is much more run fits and combo blocks right now. Maybe we'll move into pass rush, but a lot of work on fundamentals right now. They're getting good work in.
Hey, we'll do the same thing, Frank. You guys rush in. All right, you guys rush in.
Yeah, Mike and Lewis down here checking out the offensive and defensive linemen getting in some work.
Get the drink, we'll get going.
And those run fits should be a strength of this offensive line on this team. I tell you what, the American squad of offensive linemen, they are just bulldozers in terms of size and strength.
Yeah, I think we're about to turn up the temperature now, though.
It's about pass rush action?
Yep.
I'll tell you what, and there's a couple guys, Landon Dickinson, Cleveland from Georgia. These guys aren't even practicing, and this is a good-looking group here. So, again, tip of the cap to Jim Nagy's Senior Bowl director, and just in terms of the quality and depth of the players he's got here, because just the guys that are, there's great guys that are practicing, but there's a few that are here that aren't practicing that still look the part, that will either be bottom of the first day or top of the second day picks.
Let's go over to the offensive line coach for the Carolina Panthers, perhaps in advance of that period we're all looking forward to.
We're on break. We got a 3-minute break. Couple-minute break.
Well, you know what? 3-minute break for the offensive line. That's a reasonable time for us to take a 3-minute television break, as the NFL's best players will still be recognized during the NFL Pro Bowl celebration presented by Verizon this Sunday at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on both ESPN and ABC, as well as on the ESPN app. And this spring, ESPN will bring you the NFL Draft for the 42nd consecutive year. Coverage begins Thursday, April 29th on ESPN and ABC, with many of the names you hear at these Senior Bowl practices being called out. Time now for some offensive and defensive line one-on-ones. Let's listen in.
It's a snug left on ZNX Vegas. Granny, you're going to have the racer now, man. Work that guy.
Way better.
25's there. You want to get out on
There are some big-time battles over here. Trey Sample right there.
You make first contact.
Look,
Thank you.
Carlos Basham's a bad boy. He can rush the passer.
All right, Alex, have a plan, Alex. Let's go.
Sample's like, no, not today. Not on this rep.
Good job. Good inside hand. Right, good
And
square
Leatherwood
set, right on the angle.
said the
Nice
only
inside
way
hand.
he was coming to the Senior
win.
Bowl
Have a
is
plan
if he
on
could
every
play
one.
left
Right, have a
tackle
plan
the
on every
entire
one.
time. He wants to show GMs and
go, Greeny.
decision makers that he is going to be a left tackle in the NFL.
Good. Flip the hands. Nice job. Good job. He spins out. I flip my hands. Right. Nice job. Don't overset. All right. He should have went inside on you right there. Let's go, boys. You're waiting, Royce. You're waiting. You're waiting. Good recovery. Hey, good recovery. You're waiting, though. You waited.
So as you're watching here during this coverage, in your left bottom corner of the screen, you've got the Panthers offensive line coach. In the bottom right corner of the screen, you've got, of course, their head coach, Matt Rule.
Fire that offhand, bro. Let's go. Fire that offhand. What'd you do? You did the same. Hey, you did the same thing you did yesterday.
Oh, he just made up for the last round.
Lunging. Yes, sir.
Bash.
And I say Trey Sample, and I meant Trey Smith from Tennessee, but there's some big-time battles going on in here.
Use them.
Cam Sample right here has been rushing the passer pretty well.
Good, good. Keep watching. Keep watching. Hey,
it's a good rush right there.
And Passion from Wake Forest,
that's good.
he can play inside and outside. He sets the edge as an outside player, and I think he's at his best as a pass rusher when he's moved inside on obvious passing downs.
Finish it now. Finish it. Nice job. Hey, nice job. Nice job.
Let's go, Jake.
Finish it.
Let's go, bud.
Hey, D-line.
Great angle.
Stay off of him.
Boy, this has been such a competitive period so far. Again, I think Leatherwood's really stood out. Trey Smith from Tennessee. This is Lark Jackson from Iowa. I think he struggled a little bit in some of his pass sets, but I think we're seeing some improvement from the other day.
That's Janarius Robinson rushing the passer on that last rep. And he's a guy that I'm highlighting because the measurements are about as ideal as we saw for any prospect this week. 6'6", 256 pounds. 83-inch wingspan. That's 7 feet 3 inches, or somewhere close to 81-inch wingspan. My apologies there. And 11-inch hands. Janarius Robinson is one of those guys that checks a lot of the physical boxes, but had just 8 sacks during his career at Florida State. He's got to translate those tools into much more production on the field.
Well, I'll tell you who is producing. Cam Sample is producing. And Trey Smith is pitching a shutout. A shutout. This is a good battle coming up right here between Leatherwood and Roche. Speed versus just a big, massive young man.
Stay away, guys. Stay away. I want this on film now.
Use your leg, Alex. Use your leg. Control.
Win Alabama.
Nice.
Scrutinized from close range by GM Scott Fitterer, who's down on the field here as close as possible. This O-line, D-line, I spoke to him moments ago. He says he wants to smell it, he wants to hear it, he wants to be in the trenches. This kind of proprietary information to see how these guys react to success and failure, to see how they react to coaching. And so Fitterer is within 10 yards, is right to Lewis's left right now, just hovering over this drill.
Fitterer, of course, longtime Seahawks executive, actually a Seattle native, so working for his hometown team for many years, to much success as well. Recently hired by the Carolina Panthers, one of 6 general manager jobs that turned over this offseason in the NFL. Of course, the Panthers own the 8th overall pick in this year's upcoming 2021 draft.
You know, Quinn brings up a good point, Field, in terms of having the GM down here, because it is an advantage. All the 30 other teams are in the stands, and part of coaching is you have your front office down here, and it's a little thing, but again, when you're trying to break ties and look at guys from a physical prototype standpoint, to be able to have this sort of access to them is really valuable as you start finalizing your board.
And especially this year, Mike, right? You know, it's unconventional in so many ways, and not that 1 week can define every evaluation, but you know, you're not going to see a lot of the underclassmen prospects that aren't eligible to play in this game up close and personal over the next 3 months before the first round of the draft. This is going to be a unique opportunity for 136 players, and certainly the 2 teams that are coaching them this week. Anybody that's here in Mobile taking in the sights and sounds in person.
Good recovery. Good job anchoring down.
We're going to get to watch Trey Smith, number 73, in the next 2 or 3 snaps. This guy is special. I mean, he had blood clots, and there's some medical issues that might drop him a little bit, but I think he's the best interior offensive lineman in the entire class. Just watch him, how physical he is, 6'6", 330. He can move his feet. He's great with his hands. He's been through so much in his life. His mom died when he was 15 years old. You know, he's just battled a lot, but this guy can play. And he's trying to play a little left tackle now, but I think he's going to be a guard or center in the NFL, and I think he's going to be somewhere on day 2 and be in the league for a long time, as long as the medical doesn't affect him.
Refit your hand, bro.
of the paint of the quarterback.
The right one. The one that you guys are playing patty cake with. You like it? What did you like? I know you tried to trap it.
Out of the way, guys.
Did you like the set?
Move that way, buddy.
I like it. I like the shot. I like the shot. Seriously, I'm going to tie your arms to your side because you haven't used.
Yeah, man, he's a guard
right?
who's trying to show
deal.
NFL teams that
Senior Bowl
maybe
deal, right?
I can play tackle, and
That was
there's
good.
more value there. But at the end of the
where we at,
day,
Tom? Where we
he's
at,
going to
Tom?
be one of the elite
Oh, here.
guards in the NFL as long as his medical holds up.
He'll win the interview too, Todd. I spent some
gosh,
time
I
with
mean,
him
he's
this year before his senior day.
Unbelievable.
Before he graduated, mature, smart. I was blown away by him as a person.
Loves the game, just a good person, and everything he's been through has made him stronger, you know?
Let's swing down from the one-on-ones between the offensive and defensive linemen over to 7-on-7 taking place in the opposite end zone, some of the passing game work. So we got Mike T locked in down there. Good reps here. Red zone 7-on-7.
Yeah, I feel we got Mac Jones at the 4-yard line here. Mari Rodgers in the slot. I'm sure there's a lot of Carolina Panther fans watching us right now that hope this could be what it looks like come the regular season. Boy, what another great throw by Mac Jones. What a quick release, quick decision, and a perfect pass to the tight end from Duke Gray. And really, really good accuracy in a tight window. You know, guys, this is be somewhat reminiscent of Daniel Jones of Duke or Justin Herbert from Oregon a year ago, where Mac Jones is just clearly separating himself from all the other quarterbacks that are here.
Yeah, sure feels like it's been a very productive week here from Mac Jones, Mike. And to your point, it's not just he's been good by himself. It's that, he's really stood out above the rest of this quarterback group, which is what we all expected coming into this week. But it's one thing to expect it, it's another thing to deliver, and it feels like Mac Jones has done exactly that. As the teams move into special teams, we're going to take a quick break ourselves and come back with our continued coverage here of the 2021 Reese's Senior Bowl from Mobile, Alabama. Final practice for a good women's hoops matchup with Dawn Staley's number 4 South Carolina Gamecocks in Starkville, Mississippi to take on number 21 Mississippi State. And on the men's side, Saturday night will showcase the Big 12 SEC Challenge with number 15 Kansas and number 18 Tennessee at 6 Eastern, followed by number 5 Texas and Kentucky at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch it all on ESPN as well as the app. We're back here and we're into our field goal period, and Jose Borregales, who is the Miami kicker, who, Todd, you had a chance to catch up before practice.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking maybe day 2, second or third round. That's how good he is.
Wow.
I asked him before practice, and he was surprised that I was even bothering him. He said, I said, where are you comfortable? He's like, 60 plus, I'm about 50-50. He goes, anything inside 60, I'm 100%.
Well, let's see if we put him to the test right now.
He was 20 for 22 on field goals this year, and his career long is 57 yards.
Pretty easy money right there from about 52 right there.
Yeah, into a breeze as well.
Yep.
Yeah, going into the wind.
Although, my vantage point, he may have been a little bit wide left right there. I'm looking at it from the sideline, so it looked good. Distance-wise, it was good.
This reminds me, last year, Tyler Bass gets drafted by the Buffalo Bills. He displaces longtime kicker Steven Hauschka. Tyler Bass put on a show in Mobile. This is very similar.
It's a 55-yarder right now from Borregales. Oops. That's a miss hit right there. Let's get into the Carolina Panthers quarterback situation as the American squad pivots to kickoff return here. And so the Carolina Panthers have the number 8 overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft. They currently have Teddy Bridgewater under contract for 2 more years. He's got $10 million of his $17 million base salary fully guaranteed for 2021. So it would stand to reason that Teddy's most likely back on the roster next year. The question is whether there's going to be competition for his starting job. And Lewis, I'll start with you. That pick 8, and we got all eyes on Mac Jones this week, but I don't want to lose track of some of the other quarterbacks that could be available in that range, whether it's a Trey Lance, whether it's a Justin Fields. If you're the Carolina Panthers and you're Scott Fitterer, you're the new GM, you think quarterback is on the top of your mind for that 8th overall pick?
I think because of the importance of the position, it has to be something that's being considered, and you're going to have to let the board kind of like dictate to you as to whether or not a quarterback who you like and you feel as though could significantly upgrade your football team and give you a better chance to compete there in the South is available, and whether or not you should select them. So I think it's one of these where they're going to evaluate all those players outside of the top 2 quarterbacks who are going to come off the board and see whether or not, look, if one of these guys who we really like, we really do feel as though they significantly upgrade us over Teddy, then we have to consider it. There's no question that we have to consider it. I don't think in any way, shape, or form you could watch Carolina tape this year and say that it's impossible to upgrade Teddy Bridgewater, although Teddy is a fine quarterback that as long as you have the pieces around him, he is a complementary type of player that can help you win football games. But if you have room to improve it, you have to consider improving it, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, and I talked to Matt Rule yesterday for about 20 minutes before practice, and the biggest emphasis he made was that we had 8 games in the 4th quarter where we were down 1 score, and we needed a quarterback to drive us and finish a drive, and they didn't have it. And just talking to him, I'm convinced that they are going to get their guy at quarterback. It's not going to be Trevor Lawrence. He's going number 1 to Jacksonville. There's no question about it. But after that, everything's up for debate. I mean, they could move up to number 2, the Jets pick, number 3, the Dolphins pick. Whatever they have to do to get their guy. It may be Mac Jones. It may be Zach Wilson for BYU. It may be Justin Fields from Ohio State. Whoever that quarterback is, I'm convinced that the Carolina Panthers are going to go up and go get their quarterback.
Hey, Todd, let me tell you this. It makes a lot of sense because the verb I would use is they're not looking for a quarterback, they're scouring for a quarterback.
Right.
We used to use the expression every rock, every day. And last year, Coach Rule goes in, they draft all defense. They got a number of young players on defense with high upside, led by Jeremy Chin. Quarterback is definitely a position where when you look at their team, it's not only the most critical position, but when you look at their needs, it's absolutely number 1 on their list. And to me, you draw a line 2nd or 3rd. I think they need another offensive lineman, another skill player on the outside, but clearly quarterback is the number 1 need for them. So you're sitting there at 8. Mac Jones is making a really good case to be considered at 8. And again, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, I think will be part of that discussion when it's all said and done as well. So I think they're sitting in a pretty good spot, but if there's somebody that you really like, guys, that's where you say, you know what, if it costs us a 2nd or 3rd round pick to go up from 8 to 3 or 8 to 4, to make sure we get the guy that we want that checks every box, character, all the physical attributes, let's go get him, and that'll be our guy, hopefully for the next 10 years.
So, Todd, as we roll the tape here on Mac Jones from this week, there's been some impressive plays from the Senior Bowl week of practices, but it's just a sliver of the evaluation on this player. I know the numbers are gaudy. I don't have to tell you and regurgitate just how ridiculous the statistics were, but what are the strengths of Mac Jones' games? Because as we discussed earlier this week on the broadcast, it's not his job to choose his teammates, right? But sometimes those are held against him, is that he's already playing with basically NFL-level talent, where other quarterbacks have lesser supporting casts.
Yeah, Field, that's the tricky part, is figuring out how good he is compared to other quarterbacks who don't have the supporting cast. I mean, he has 3 guys in the offensive line who are going to be drafted in the first 3 rounds. He's got Jalen Waddle, who got injured after 4 or 5 games, but Devontae Smith steps up and is the Heisman winner. And John Mechie turns out to be a great number 2 wide receiver as well. he can hand the ball off to Najee Harris, and I think is the #1 running back in this year's draft class. So he has been more supported than any other quarterback in the country. But when you study his tape, the ability to feel pressure and to move around and to extend plays without great athleticism, but just like knowing when to slide, when to climb, and then the ball placement that he has is special. It's unique. It really is. It reminds me a lot of watching Joe Burrow a year ago. And I know he's not going to be the #1 overall pick like Joe Burrow was, but it's in that same class in terms of intelligence, pocket presence, toughness, and ball placement.
Well, it should be an interesting few months ahead for Mac Jones, who looks to further solidify his status as perhaps the #4 overall quarterback in this class, almost certainly a top 5 quarterback in this class. Kellen Mond, more of a wild card in the draft here, is a player that started a ton of games for Texas A&M during his 4 seasons there, Todd. Does he sort of come in as a developmental option? Is he going to be a career backup? Is there sort of potential that you see from Kellen Mond?
I mean, he's body beautiful, right? He looks the part. He's athletic. He makes some special throws. He's just been inconsistent. He was more consistent this year, and I thought he matured this year, but he's still not to the level where I would, if I'm drafting a quarterback to be a starter, it's in the first round. If I'm drafting a quarterback to be a backup that I can develop into a starter, maybe it's in the 2nd, 3rd round. And I think that's where Mond is going to wind up going, probably in the 3rd round range.
Yeah, and again, when we're talking about quarterbacks in the 2nd or 3rd round, we're looking for guys that have high upside, or what can we develop. And we talk about guys like Sam Ehlinger this morning or Kellen Mond. These are guys that are really good athletes that can make plays with their feet, and they just have to become more consistent throwing the ball. So I thought Mond got better at his time at A&M, played well under Jimbo Fisher, and I see him going somewhere in the middle of the 2nd day as well.
Let's take a listen into some of the huddles here during this next drill, a little bit of team action.
In the green back there.
Score the first play. Let's
Call
go.
now.
All right, Kellen, score the first play, man. First freaking play. I got you.
Jay, we're in the high red, huh?
This will be a little play action for Kellen Mond. Go routes on the outside.
Come on, Kellen.
Know where you're at now. Speed. Watch your speed.
Wow, what a catch right there from Noah Gray.
Guys, where is the middle guy? What are they looking at? Guys, do you guys understand if you're in the middle?
Spectacular body control. Just a great snag right there. Noah Gray had a great career at Duke. Incredibly productive during his time there.
When you're in the middle. Come on, man. QB key.
From Leominster, Mass, of course.
Todd, you know I got to give some love to my guys from Massachusetts. You're my home state. You don't have too many of them, right?
1 or 2 of them.
New England's got a good history with tight ends, don't they? Isn't Freiermuth a New England guy?
Freiermuth? I had the chance to watch Pat Freiermuth play his high school ball as he went to the same high school that my wife did as well. So he might be my favorite draft prospect this year.
That's it. Gotta talk to each other.
Busted play right there, obviously, but you can see Kellen Mond, the athleticism. He's pretty explosive as a runner when the play breaks down like that.
And Lou's been talking about Roche is all over the field.
The athleticism that you
he is playing hard.
The athleticism that you miss on that play, being over here on this side of the field, is like he broke contain in the pocket and looked like he may have had some green grass here to score. But who did you see chase him down out on the perimeter? Carlos Basham. And turned him back inside.
Basham and
something that shows up all the time.
Two guys.
This will be testing for Basham now. I think this is a run to the right.
Guys, you see the middle third player?
Watch 9 on the D line. See how he handles this.
Flood.
Yeah.
15 in there.
Yeah. So right there, just sit. Now go! It's run! Come on, you gotta go hard, man. You gotta key the triangle.
Well, he did his job. He took on the double. Everyone else filled secondarily, just the way you're supposed to. Hey, if you ever want to think football is easy, just watch double teams. Just watch how physical double teams are.
Angle drive on the 9, right?
I mean, it is
32 duo.
Absolute just.
You've got to have sand in the trunk, and then you also have to dig deep. You know, it's physical and definitely mental.
Guys, I'm so impressed by this offensive line of the American team. Leatherwood and Smith on left side. Most NFL teams would love to have a pair like that.
He's got to go. He's got to load the back opposite leg.
Gotta go, Trey.
Here we go, let's scoop.
See, that's where Kellen Mond just makes it look so easy, guys, right? The read option and just the speed to catch the corner.
Field, if we had an offense like that, we could all make it look easy.
I'm not so sure about me, Mike, but...
Yeah, I stood up and tried to seal his inside.
Remember, that's just an angle drive, right? That's just an angle drive, getting your head on the inside V, shooting your hands, right?
Yeah,
First and 9.
It messed me up.
Yeah, I got you, because he was so wide.
Brian
man, we got
Angelico, the tight
37
end coach from Carolina. Bottom right corner of your screen.
Pretty good. Stay on the angle. Stay on the angle.
Todd, I think this Larry Roundtree from Missouri could be an interesting prospect. You know, you spoke highly of him this week. Good, solid player.
He does a great job of running with balance, and I always call it contact balance, the ability to run through tacklers and just run low with good leverage, and that's what he does. And he can catch the ball too. That's the other thing. But you know, he opted out this year, but he's been highly productive throughout his career. You saw it there, just how natural he is catching the ball, transitioning up the field.
Been that way all week, too.
Come on, guys. Can't line up both sides. Don't give him nothing. Don't give him nothing. Field, this one's coming right at you. It's going to be a run to the left.
If it's an overthrow, I'm catching it, Quint.
Not a throw.
Okay.
It's a run. Left side of this line with Moore from A&M.
Did you guys change the schedule? The script? It's supposed to be the press 33 duo? What do you, come here, you, Jamie. What's the play right now? No, back in the huddle. It's called the wrong play. It's called the wrong play. We're on press 33 duo.
Oh, my bad.
You guys are good.
Hey, 12. That's me.
Hey, you're good. Huddle!
My bad.
That's all right. No, I'll tell you what you got to buy later. Huh? I'll tell you what you got to buy later. Come on! Is it under? Right there. You're a 5, you're under. Down left, down right. Corner's over, let's go. Would you guys stop putting a duo jab in? I'll do. Hey guys, remember if we slinky that now, guys.
Hey, USD, Mark.
So it's fun listening to Matt Rule. You know, most coaches, we identify them as either offensive background or defensive background. And if you didn't know it, you wouldn't really know necessarily which side of the ball that Matt Rule stems from originally. Obviously, he has an offensive line background prior to coaching in the NFL. Coached many years in college. He did have a brief stay with the New York Giants.
Back the offense up, coaches, please. Let's go, boys. Let's go now. Starting to.
You know, we talked a lot about the Americans' offensive line, but this defensive line now with Sample and Boogie Basham and Quincy Roche, they're going to give the national team all they want come Saturday. They have a number of guys who can really rush the passer. And as you guys mentioned before, the fact that Basham can rush from inside, it's going to make him that much more valuable at the next level. Here he is at 3 technique.
You can see Mac Jones back under center for the American squad. Alabama quarterback, Heisman finalist this year, All-American. Won just about every quarterback award available this past year.
You can definitely see that left foot is tender, that he got stepped on earlier in practice. He's kind of walking around a little gingerly.
Keep your eye on Kylan Hill out of the backfield here as a receiver. 20 in white.
Tight technique outside of it. Make a play, Jared. Here we go! On the ball! Here we go! On the ball!
Mac just coaching him up mid-play. Not a biggie. I've been in this offense for 3 days.
Got it. Yeah, he's
You take a look at Mac Jones, who once again is coming up a little bit gimpy at the end of that play. Let's go back and see where it initially took place earlier on in practice. It didn't look like much serious, but as you can see right at the tail end of this play earlier, Mac Jones a little bit banged up. Looks to be pain in his left foot. Actually just took his helmet off now. Let's see whether or not he'll get some more medical attention. He's just a little bit tender, it looks like right now.
He's talking to Coach Rule too, letting him know that, you know, I'm limited.
It's hard playing. It's hard. It's part of the deal, especially with all these words. Telling everybody, hey, you got this. It's hard.
This would be an ISO off the right side. If he kills it, looks like he's killing it now. He's going to send this to the left. Power left.
See Grant Stewart, the Houston linebacker, wearing number 0 this week. Talk about an energy. This guy is just like microwavable energy. He is all over the field. Communication skills are off the charts. You see the hair makes him immediately a can't-miss guy wearing number 0, and he can fly. That much is for sure. But speaking with Jim Nagy, of course, executive director of this event, he talked about how, you know, you might just think he's going to be because he's a smaller guy and fast guy, special teams stud. Well, he'll be that at the NFL level, but he could be much more as well, Todd.
Yeah, he is a special teams maven, and you can see the energy. And I wouldn't count him out as a starter. It might take 2 or 3 years, but they're going to rotate him in, and they're going to take that energy and they're going to make him into a player. There's no question.
Watch Tony.
You know, one of the things you want to look for with somebody like him is, can he outrun leverage? And he did that there. You know, looked like he was going to be contained, and he has another gear. You know, on the field here, you can really feel his short area quickness and his explosion.
Yeah, cool week here for Kadarius Toney. For those less familiar with him, obviously had a very, very nice season for Florida this past year, but this week is particularly special to him. He's from Mobile, Alabama. This is a homecoming here for Kadarius Toney, a guy that is the highest-ranked player on Todd's board that is playing in the game. You've got players like Najee Harris and certainly Devontae Smith that are here that are ranked a little bit higher, but amongst those that are playing, Kadarius Toney, 23rd on Todd's top prospect board right now.
It's because it's what everyone in the NFL is looking for. A guy who can be in the backfield, can get the ball and reverse his screens, quick game, and then throw vertical. And I mean, all year long, he was the guy. Kyle Pitts and Toney were the 2 guys at Florida Kyle Trask just trusted the most, and that's why they had one of the most explosive offenses in all of the country.
Say the only offense that really, at least in one game, could hang with Alabama this year was Florida. They gave them all they could handle in that SEC championship game. Of course, Alabama won.
And Ole Miss.
Ole Miss for that. Yeah. Kenny Yeboah by himself practically kept Ole Miss in that game.
181 yards.
What up, Wyatt?
Say Kellen Mond looked like he thought he had an opening there, and Trey McKitty, the Georgia tight end, didn't a little bit of a miscommunication there. Didn't look like McKitty was looking for the ball when it was thrown his way. More.
Let's go. Go 44, let's go.
Great undercut right there. The route, Kadarius Toney. That throw from Jamie Newman, the Wake Forest quarterback. Another one of these quarterbacks, not named Mac Jones, looking to kind of keep the consistency level high enough to prove that he
Grant.
Great little play right there.
What a play.
Great play by Richie Grant.
Everyone knew it was going to be an RPO, and it was very obvious from the start that he was going to Toney, and Toney got some separation. The ball was a little bit behind, but Grant undercut it, as you said, and made a great play on the ball.
I was right in the middle of that play. For a minute, I thought about clotheslining him, but I thought they would have that ambulance. That ambulance sitting over there in the tunnel would have been out here for me quick.
Got a pair of UCF defensive backs here this week. I'll tell you what, Todd, we're sitting here near the defensive backfield. There are a lot of big DBs here at the Senior Bowl. I don't know if that's just an evolution of the game or just an outlier year, but the size of
Melifonwu is from Syracuse is 6'3", 213. Is standing right next to him.
Yep.
Nasruddin from Florida State is 6'4", 220.
Yeah.
Cam Chancellor, there are a lot of big DBs.
Divine Diablo from Virginia Tech, also well built. We got a bunch of guys here that look more like linebackers than cornerbacks or safeties.
You got the Seahawks,
which may ultimately be where they wind up playing.
That's right, Lewis.
I mean, the league is becoming
just
more
went
and more
to
nickel.
Dallas. Similar
smaller
defense.
backers.
Yep.
Look, you just can't get away with being that big, playing on the third level in the NFL defense that on a consistent basis anymore.
Right.
The game's just too fast.
You got to play a certain role.
By the way, guys, just had a quick look there at Mac Jones, who's talking with the trainer right now. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, that left foot seemed to be bothering Mac a little bit. No specifics as of yet as to what he is dealing with, but has been speaking with the trainer. We'll see whether or not Mac Jones does return to action here on the field. Obviously, every player here this week is going to be erring on the side of caution, but Mac Jones certainly has nothing left to prove, so he too, I'd imagine, will be careful with this foot injury.
Yeah, I'm sure if it's anywhere close, well, hopefully it's just a little bruise, but if it's close, I'm sure they will keep him out just as an abundance of caution.
This will be a power left for Roundtree. Keep your eyes on left guard and tackle.
Another good guess.
Good opportunities for us to see McKitty, the Georgia tight end, block at the point of attack here.
What you saw was Quincy Roche win at the point of attack right there. 55 is a player now. He's a player. He's not just a pass rusher.
Week, man.
He's a player. He's had a couple good plays at the point of attack in the run game here as a primary defender. And you see what he just said. What he just told him, take that bleep over there. Don't run it on my side.
And Grant Stewart was in there too.
The defense is starting to feel a little bit right here in the goal line session.
Well, it's always tough to evaluate defense from a TV perspective when you're not going live to the ground, because these guys are trying to pull off, stay off the ground, not put their teammates on the ground, and you know, increase their chances of getting hurt, and it kind of takes away from what they naturally do, which is hunt ball carriers down and put them on the ground. So you got to really watch the point of attack play here, and this D-line's as good as any. They're getting after it.
Be a little play action down at the goal line. Amari Rogers could be featured here. He's top of your screen, 3 in white.
I think they're going to call. I think they're going to call pass interference right here. They're going to call the defensive holding. Yep, they sure did. I'll tell you, the corner had Amari hemmed up. Good job staying square, quick jam. That's why Kellen had to pull the ball down.
Yeah, that's why.
Referees always want to throw flags. All offensive league, all that stuff.
Yada, yada, yada.
Looks like
And I love Amari Rogers, but he got jammed up there.
He did.
Oh, they creased that one pretty good. That ball got north-south in a hurry.
I'll tell you what, we're not going on the ground here. Tackling is not live, but this is a very, very physical period. They are really buttoned up. And again, give Coach Rule credit because he has set the tone each and every day, but this is a very physical period.
They call it thud, you know. Just kind of thud. Don't bring him down. But this is extra thud. It's been fun to watch.
It is.
So big crossing routes.
Always interesting how coaches try to set up defenders to fail, isn't it? So they condense the formation, run crossers against, knowing that it's man coverage because that's what was scripted. DBs worked through it, though. Quarterback had to pull the ball down. See, again, that's another way to test these young men, especially on the defensive side, in the toughest conditions. Let's see. We'll condense the formation, call man-to-man, and see if you guys can find a way to fight through it and communicate through it, and they did. It's a great job.
This defense is battling. I love it. Inside the 10, the way they've played.
Inside zone.
You know, Todd, again, it's been competitive. It's been physical. They're not supposed to go to the ground, like you said. It's just supposed to be a thud, but that's what we've seen all period long. And again, I give Coach Rule a lot of credit. A lot of these guys that we're saying all week are great pass rushers. I think they've really acquitted themselves really nicely of defending the run. Basham inside, Quincy Roche. So I think this is really showing that these guys are, you know, two-way defensive players. They're not just pass rushers.
Totally agree.
Let's take a listen here to Matt Rule, the Panthers head coach, as we continue to work through this goal line period.
Tight end in the left slot. Next group.
Nasruddin.
Hey, win early in the down.
Yep.
Win with your feet, win with your hands down here in the red zone, on the goal line.
That guy can play, man.
You'll effectively shut down the passing game. These DBs have done a great job of that. You haven't seen any balls get completed in the end zone in this period.
And the beauty with Nasruddin is you've got a guy who's 6'4", 220, who can play, you know, man coverage against tight ends and some wide receivers. He can support the run. He does a lot of things for you, and he's what you're looking for in terms of the physical tools. He didn't play a lot this past year, but if you go back and study the 2019 tape, really good player for Florida State.
This will be a trap, they're telling me. Watch the right guard. Center playing right guard right now.
See, they set Basham up right there. No one blocks him. Let him come upfield. He tripped, fell on the ground, created a natural hole. See, offenses are always trying to do that to the defense in practice. Always setting you up so you can win. You got to love it, though.
Why wouldn't you?
The most beautiful thing in football.
See how Roche handles this. This direct run coming right at him to the left. 55 and black on defense now.
So you wonder, is he going to get doubled? Is he gonna get... Yo, he jammed it up again.
Nice job.
Boy, he stuck really well there. Good use of his hands.
Look at him. Look, they took his helmet off, hands to the face. Quincy Roche's having a practice. He had 2 solid days of practice.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 days in a row. And he's known just as a pass rusher.
That's right.
And he's shown up and he's put some sand in the trunk, if you will.
All right, now let's go. Let's get it. Let's get
he's
it.
ready to anchor.
Come on, Kellen.
This will be a pass to the back, coming out to the right towards you, Lewis. It'll put some pressure on the linebacker here to cover this back out of the backfield. Mitchell.
If he can work over top of this condensed formation, we're going to try and pick him off. See if he can get out here. A little late, but he made up for it.
Oh, great. Tell you what, he's having a good practice. He's moving around a little bit better today and been very productive.
Things happen quick down here in the red zone on the goal line. Got to be smart.
He also has a catch of the day so far.
The best part about Gray is he can line up anywhere. You can put him in the backfield, you can put him in the slot, you can detach him out wide. He's so smart as a player, and he loves the game, and he's just so committed. He's not the most athletic, but he finds a way to get open.
Another great job by the secondary.
Yep.
Oh, we got another flag here late.
we got 2. Lewis, we got 2 of them.
The quarterback would have been sacked before that happened anyway, because the pass rush was already in there. Yeah, the DBs are doing a great job. Again, I keep saying win early in the down. They're jamming these wide receivers up the line. They can't get off the ball. And that's why you've seen maybe 1 or 2 passes completed in the end zone down here in this entire period, if that.
You got a trap this time, and the left guard will pull. So this Iowa defensive tackle, I think they're
setting him up.
Try to set him up.
You see, it's funny, man, because whenever you try to trap a DT like that and he comes off the ball and doesn't get any resistance and there's nobody in front of him, you see how a lot of times they start stumbling and almost falling on their face because they're like, whoa, where's the offensive lineman? Where'd he go?
Someone blocked me.
Yeah.
Well, when Deontay Brown comes across on a pull, probably do want to get out of the way. That's 364 pounds.
Let's see how Patty Fisher handles this. This is inside zone left. Linebacker from Northwestern, 30. Let's see how he...
Mike's guy right there, Mike. Let's see it.
Oh, they got crease there.
Yep. It's easy right there, huh?
Field could have scored on that play.
You guys are giving me way too much credit. I don't accelerate. I just decelerate.
I'll tell you what, guys.
To slower.
You know, the other thing that really stands out is the contrast in practices. This period is long, it's physical, and it's competitive.
And it's important, you know?
You know what he's doing? He's finding out. How much do you want this? How much do you really love this? As Kyle Shanahan told us during Monday Night Football production calls, football's hard, man. It's hard. Now, how much do you really love it? How much do you... We're going to find out. Oh, the DBs are playing their rear ends off in this period, man.
A nice play right there.
Richie Grant again.
Netflix or Twitter.
See, this is where in this period, this is where you miss a Mac Jones. This is where you miss that quick decision making and knowing where to go with the football. I'm sure it'd be a little bit different if he was playing, but this is where you miss it.
And by the way, for those that have joined us since Mac Jones previously departed practice, looked to be a little bit of a left foot, maybe an ankle issue. Doesn't look to be anything serious, but Mac Jones has probably been out of the reps for about 15 or 20 minutes so far. A spectator, which means more work for Jamie Newman, more work for Kellen Mond. Good opportunities.
He's okay. Richie Grant, I mean, this guy, he's one of the highest rated defensive backs in this class in terms of the Senior Bowl, and it's everything is with his eyes and how he just closes on the ball. He has been fun to watch here in the red zone.
Hey, punt return!
That was a great period for the defense. They got everything thrown at them.
Usually it's the opposite way.
A lot of different trap runs, inside zones, outside zones, boots, waggles. Got a screen right there. They reacted to it perfectly. Real good, solid defensive period.
Hey, after that marathon period right there, if you love football, that was for you. And if you love football, stay right here as our continued coverage of the 2021 Reese Senior Bowl rolls along here on ESPN. From beautiful.
I'm not a sucker, so I don't need a bodyguard.
Line up on the goal line, because that gives you better angles. You know they're going to run 4 verts, right? So that way you really have good angles coming where?
Coming downhill.
Downhill. Does that make sense?
What I'm saying is, cross his midline. Put your hat on the outside, threaten him, because that's what the aiming point of the back is, right?
Can we throw a touchdown on the first play, please?
Yeah. Good. Right? Tracking my gap. A to B gap. A to B gap, B to A, whatever it may be.
Remember, that's just an angle drive, right? That's just an angle drive, getting your head on the inside V, shooting your hands, right? Yeah. 1st and 9.
Hey, look at me. That's good. You had him out this wide. Just finish him then. Right, good stab with the outside.
So we can play at what? Levels of defense. Did they talk to you about that in the meeting? So you're at this level, the corner's at 3, and the backer's at 5, so we can get through. We just got picked over here because we didn't do it.
We can't sit there and send the freaking safeties all the time to cover tight ends because we don't want them to get beat. And then they can't play quarters.
Guys, what's the triangle when you're in the middle? Center, 2 guards, ball and back, right? Key the triangle.
If you want to be great, you got to win in 2 minutes. Great players close games out. Quarterbacks close games out. Left tackles close games out. Pass rushers close game out. DBs close games out. Close the game out.
So it's a last opportunity now to show what you can do, right? All right. I don't care what I've taught you. You do what your college guys taught you to do, right? But just make first contact. That's all I'm telling you to do. Yes, sir. Make first contact, and you'll win more times than you won't. Right? You good? Yeah. All right, good.
Back here, checking in on the quarterbacks, and one of the great old drills, just throw it into the bucket. As you can see here, there are 3 quarterbacks from the American squad. Jamie Newman from Wake Forest, Kellen Mond from Texas A&M, and Mac Jones from Alabama. As we have told you, Mac Jones, basically a spectator for the last portions here of practice. It's an ankle issue. Doesn't seem to be anything major for Mac, but as we know, you're going to err on the side of caution this week. The game, of course, being played on Saturday. We'll see if Jones is available on Saturday for that game. Certainly too soon to tell, but at least during the last couple of team reps, Mac Jones was a spectator for this portion of the practice. Let's take a look one more time at how the injury was sustained for Mac Jones. Again, nothing major at the time, but just worth noting for the player that has been one of the stories of the week. You see here at the end of the play, just watch right at the end, just gets kind of rolled up a little bit. Never major pain, but you could tell right away, Todd, he was kind of gimpy walking off the field.
Yeah, I just talked to him, and he said it hurt. The initial getting rolled up on it hurt my ankle. It's on the outside of my ankle. Like if it's a game, I could play right now, but it's not a game. It's practice. He said what really kind of doubled it was the fact that I tried to make a cut on a busted play in the red zone drill, and I tried to cut inside, and that the outside of the ankle just got affected more. So. He's good. He's fine. I don't know if he's going to play on Saturday or not, but long term, it's really a non-issue.
Yeah, you got to figure there'll be a conversation tonight between Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Senior Bowl, and his agents as well to discuss the pros and cons.
He's such a stud, though, too. I mean, just watch. Like he's still throwing the ball into the trash can. He's still involved in everything they're doing. The fact, you're Mac Jones. Going to the national championship, the whole thing, and where you've come from, and how long you had to wait to become Mac Jones and become the next guy after Tua. And to just handle this the way he's handled it has been really unique to see.
He certainly has had a stellar week, and if the week is over, he has proved plenty here in Mobile, Alabama. We're not quite done yet as practice rolls along for the American squad from the 2021 Reese Senior Bowl. Getting ready to wrap things up, but our coverage continues here on ESPNU.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, that's in, that's in, that's in, that's in.
Look at him.
Side steps, yeah. Oh, he's, dadgummit.
Third round, fourth round? He named one.
Late free agent. I can't believe you did that. Embarrassed me.
Just moments ago, by the way, here's Matt Rule. He's having so much fun this week.
The ball's cold.
Yeah, there's logistics.
Ah! A lot closer than you guys.
I asked him third round, fourth round. He said, late free agent, maybe.
He seems like the kind of quarterback that might win from within the pocket.
He got mad at Mac Jones because right after Mac dropped one right in.
Yeah, just a reminder, Mac Jones did not take part in the last portion of team drills here at the Senior Bowl. He did tell Todd he's fine. If it were a game, he would have returned, but you're going to err on the side of caution. We'll see if it impacts his availability for the rest of the week. And Todd, speaking of Mac Jones, a guy that has just stood out throughout the week, and yet another solid performance today from him.
I mean, he picks things up so quickly because he has that mental intelligence. He waited at Alabama. A lot of guys would have transferred with Tua Tagovailoa right in front of him. He waited, and it was his turn, and he grabbed a hold of the job. And what I love about him, and you see here, the pocket presence and the accuracy. The ball placement, the ability to hang in the pocket, know where pressure's coming from, just extend the play a little bit, and then throw the ball and put it in the perfect spot.
Here's Matt Rule addressing the American squad.
Here's what I'm going to say. Get your eyes on me, please. Okay? Singers sing, rappers rap, writers write. Okay? I'm a coach, so I coach. Football players play football. Competitors compete. I'm not you. I can't tell you what to do. I don't know how you feel. I don't know how you have to decide how you want to play. You have to decide how much you want to play. You have to decide how hard you want to play. But the guys I want to rock out with, when they put the ball down, they play. So coaches coach, rappers rap, football players play football, and competitors compete. Every man has to make his own decision about whether he's going to, how hard he's going to play. How long. I'm not you. I'm just telling you, as for me, I'm coaching this game like it's the first game of next season. Because if I don't, then I'm not really the coach I say I am. You see what I'm saying? If I just get to the games when they count, in the season I coach hard, and then I come out here laid back, then I'm not really who I say I am. So everybody's got to decide. If enough guys on this team decide that we're going to go out and play well, then we'll play the game of football real well. We'll look good. We'll feel good. And then you know what? We'll win the football game. And winners win. On the same page? Bryce, break it down. I'll see you on the logo.
We're a team now, y'all, boy.
More great stuff there from Matt Rule, who all week has been entertaining for us. And Lewis, I wanted to get back to some of the prospects that stood out for you, and I saw you fixated on that defensive line. And Quincy Roche just had himself a day there at the University of Miami.
Yeah, he sure did, Field. He had a good 2 days since we've been televising these practices, and I'll tell you, as a guy who's a hybrid 3-4 outside linebacker, 43 defensive end, he's got a nice combination of speed, hand use, pass rush repertoire, and then competitiveness in the run game, as you see right here, splitting the double team here in a red zone run drill. That was just very impressive. He is not a one-trick pony at all. The NFL, despite the fact that it's a passing league and everybody likes to throw the football, at some point in time, you have to be able to stop the run so you can get to rush the passer. And Quincy showed the NFL during this week of practice, I can do both. And his stock has to be going up as far as where he's going to be selected come 2021 draft.
Yeah, one of two Miami pass rushers that will certainly be drafted this year. The other being Greg Rousseau, a player not eligible to play in this game, who also opted out of this season. Mike, let's get your player today that stuck out.
Yeah, offensive lineman Trey Smith, University of Tennessee, and Lewis, Todd, and I spent a lot of the afternoon down that end of the field, and boy, his physicality, just look at his movement here for somebody his size. Talking about finish and competitive, seeing great use of his hands here. He can move his feet for a big guy. Here he is getting up to the second level. I mean, he showed all the necessary attributes you need to be a dominating offensive lineman. I thought he looked comfortable all day long, and see Todd Adams as his fourth guard, but I think he's really worked his way up.
He would be the #1 guard and the #1 interior offensive lineman if it wasn't for the blood clot issues that he has. Yeah. And that's something, we'll figure out in the next few months as we get close to April. But Trey Smith physically is the best interior offensive lineman that this class has to offer.
And Todd, you mentioned earlier, his mom passed away. He's dealt with a lot. So
yes.
He's a guy that he's going to come into the league knowing he can handle adversity. So again, all the critical factors we saw on the field, the intangibles, obviously the medical is the big question mark that has to be checked out.
As we wrap up our coverage here of the Senior Bowl practices for the week, just a few parting thoughts. First of all, great to have football be on a football field this week and be able to enjoy it. A huge testament to all those involved, led by the efforts of Jim Nagy, the executive director. But Lewis, as you look at what we saw this week and we look ahead, anything you particularly have your eye on for Saturday afternoon?
You know what? You want to see. Well, I mean, look at these guys out here just having fun. I have my eyes on their dance moves out here near the logo.
Split like that. That's
but I'll tell you what. I want to see these these pass rushers, these tweener type of guys who are really looked at as pass rushers, actually play the run. I want to see the offensive line of the American team and see whether or not they actually do dominate the point of attack. And then you want to see these wideouts. You want to see how many of them play and how many of them produce the explosive plays that they've been known for.
And just by the way, a recap of our top story. Maybe Mac Jones, the best player on the practice field this week, did not participate in the last portion of team drills. Small ankle issue, nothing serious, but something to keep an eye on. We'll see if it impacts his availability for the rest of the week. Mac Jones really, though, solidified his draft status. As a matter of fact, he might have boosted his draft stock this week here in Mobile, Alabama. And coming up next here, we've got men's Pac-12 basketball as USC plays host to Oregon State. That wraps up our coverage here of the 2021 Reese's Senior Bowl from Hancock Whitney Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. For Lewis Riddick, Todd McShay, Mike Tannenbaum, and Quinn Kesnick, this is Field Yates saying so long from Mobile, Alabama, home of the University of South Alabama Jaguars in the 2021 Reese's Senior Bowl.
Welcome to Los Angeles.